Okay, now here's what we're looking like. Hasn't been too long since the last cut. Just added the fresh garlic and a little bit more black pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the potatoes in because they are frozen rock solid, and I really am not trying to cook these onions down. So they're already got like a nice little start. You can see that I didn't fully smash. Well, no, you can't now. I covered it up. But anyway, so we're looking pretty full here with the potatoes, but we're going to get this under control in just a minute. Okay, here we are, just a minute later. Got the potatoes and onions mixed in. Cranked the heat up back to 7. We just threw a bunch of ice cubes on this thing. I'm even going to go up to 7.5 till it starts getting zinging. Then I'm going to turn it down to probably 6.5 again. And here you see where my thing fell off my thing. But everyone's got to have one of these things that's supposed to put your spoon on, but it's not really a spoon. I think that's the problem. Alright, oh, and over here I have the garbanzo beans and the tomatoes. I opened the cans like 95% and they're upside down and drip drying, which is going to make them a lot easier to use later and save the need to get a colander dirty and wash it. That is all part of slack cooking. And now I've got a little bit of time, so I'm going to sign off and play Restaurant Story for a minute. Alright, this is turning into a rather long and exhausting process, but I am determined to see it through. So, we have here I've already just added some more garlic powder and salt, and I felt bad about doing that off camera, so here's the pepper. Shake, 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 shake. It's going to be a lot of food, so okay, there we go. That's good, amount of pepper. Alright, now I've got both kinds of Mrs. Dash here and the basil leaves. We've got the Italian medley, which is that's down there a bit. Whoa, that came out kind of fast. That's just the fine stuff at the bottom. Now the original blend, it's more coarse. There we go. Yeah, and you're right. I'm covering that pretty good there. Okay? Yeah, you're right, man. This is going to taste good. This isn't going to be no bland shit. All right? But you got to watch out for over seasoning, because that's a problem too. The basil leaves, I'm going to go real light on it a little bit. I'm leaving the oregano off entirely. I figured that's covered by the Mrs. Dash. Alright, so then I'm going to stir all this in, let it all kind of soak up, and then I'll be back again in a minute. I am getting tired and impatient, so I have covered this thing. And you can see I just put the cover on like 10 seconds ago, and you can see it's already steaming up inside there. That actually looks kind of cool. But anyway, that'll help heat the potatoes through, speed up the cooking process, which is what we want to do, because it is 4:30 in the damn morning. Never mind. Okay, here we are. I don't know if you can see, but I just took the lid off a second ago and had let it go for about 4 or 5 minutes, so the potatoes had kind of browned on the bottom a bit. I stirred them up again real good. I'm about to put the lid back on, give it another go round, and then I'll be ready to start adding more ingredients. The lid's over here for now. All the water that builds up on the lid, I try to go ahead and pour that outside of the dish, because this is going to be moist enough already, so I don't try to let that water go back in the dish. The rice is done a while ago. Supposedly this rice cooker will keep it warm, but it just burns it to the bottom. So as soon as it's done cooking, I pop it out of there, and I don't touch it. I just let it sit for 30-40 minutes, finish cooking, and it usually turns out pretty good. Okay, here's one of my little secrets, soy sauce. Now just a splash, 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 splash. Just, that's it. You don't want to, we're not trying to make this like a Chinese meal. You know, we're just giving a little hint of extra flavor there. I also hit it with a little bit more Mrs. Dash, and I did go with the basil leaves. And by Mrs. Dash, I mean the this stuff right here, which shall not be named. Alright, so here we are. The garbanzos and tomatoes have just been added. Let me actually... That's much better. Not to be prejudicial towards, any sort of handedness at all. This just happens to work much better for me. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and stir that all in. That's pretty good so far. Now I'm going to get the spinach out. Alright, here we are with the spinach, working that in there. Now I've been heating it up periodically in the microwave until it was good and done. I had to take a minute to drain it. They say there's not that much liquid, but I mean it was just full of nasty spinach water, and you know, who needs that? So now we're just stirring, mixing everything in. You know, the garbanzos are still heating up. The spinach was already hot. The tomatoes probably get hot pretty quick. Alright, so stir, 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 stir. I'm pretty much done with the seasonings at this point, and I think this is our dish. I'm going to stir it up real good, cover it, and give it a taste test and see if we need to make any adjustments. Okay, here we are. The burner's off. It's just sitting there, kind of staying warm. I tasted it. I thought it was alright. Added a little bit more salt and pepper, and that was about it. Now, it's not really Indian-ish food at all, but could eat it with the naan bread, which I would heat up in that little flat press kind of thing hanging over there by the crappy electric espresso machine that I never use. And what I would normally do, what I would like to do actually, is serve this with tortillas, maybe even some refried beans, some shredded cheese on top, a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of salsa to zing it up. That would be really good, but I have none of these things, all right, because that was the point of this exercise, is just to make some food out of what you have. And then, of course, I've got the rice. So really, you know, I would say this is enough to feed, well, let's see how much rice I made. Unplug the phone. That's like a decent amount of rice. Cover that back up again, and I think it feed 10 or 12 people maybe, for just what I found in the house. And that is cooking with Slack and Nanda. We'll be back to see me eat this stuff, so that, and I'll have a good, nice smile on my face too. I'm not that good of an actor, so then you'll believe that it's really out of. Okay, what I've done here is just use a small plate, a little rice on one side, drizzled with a little soy sauce. Drizzled, isn't that like a fancy word? Like it was like chocolate sauce over a dessert, you know? But anyway, and then I got the stuff here. So we'll do an off-camera taste test first. Damn, that is good. I like it. I am very satisfied. Alright, one more shot, and that'll be it for tonight. Alright, here we are in self-recording mode. I had to change the lighting up, and actually I kind of like how dim this is, because I'm still not really proud of my figure at this date and time. So here we go. Here's the food. Does that work? Can you see the food? I can't see if you can see the food. You probably can't. Here we go. Mmm. Oh, that was way too much. Mmm. That is my happy eating the food dance. That was good. Alright, that's Cooking with Slack. See you next time.